Last Sunday, Kris Prather won the first major of his career with a spectacular performance in the PBA Tournament of Champions. Knocking out the likes of 5-time Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte, and 11-time titleist Bill O'Neill.
How's that go high?
Now just 6 days later, Prather is back. And once again, he'll have to get through Belmo and O'Neill, as well as #1 seed and former Player of the Year, EJ Tackett. Can Prather beat the odds one more time? It's the second major of the season, the PBA Players Championship. The PBA Tour visits the capital city of Columbus, Ohio, the home of the Buckeyes. The Blue Jackets said today, great bowling from Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. Get ready, bowling fans, for the second major of the 2020 Go Bowling PBA Tour season, the second of 3 in a row. Today, 5 of the world's best bowlers compete for a part of bowling history to become champion of the 2020 PBA Players Championship. It's Stepladder bowling to determine the winner. Fresh off his first career major, the TOC last week, Kris Prather tries to climb the ladder for a second straight week to win, taking on young star Marshall Kent. The winner matches up with Bill O'Neill, owner of 11 titles and 1 major, and last week's top seed. The 2 seed, none other than Jason Belmonte with a record 11 majors. Oh yeah, Belmo is back. All looking up to the top seed, EJ Tackett, making his first show of the season. Big money on the line today, $75,000 for the champ, and $1 million for anyone who bowls a 300 in the title match, courtesy of the PBA and Fox. Welcome, bowling fans, to Columbus. Great to have with us Dave Ryan alongside the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, joined throughout the broadcast by Kimberly Pressler as well. RP, what a field we've got. What a time of the year on the Go Bowling PBA Tour. It's the February frenzy. 3 straight majors, star-studded field today, and everyone looking at Kris Prather, who might make some tour history today as well.
Yeah, you know, last week he was certainly the man of steel, and you know, if you think about it, he was 1 strike away from winning an additional $1 million. Kris Prather last week was just absolutely sensational. But today he's going to have to take on 2 opponents that he faced in last week's TSC, starting with Bill O'Neill. Bill O'Neill was a top seed last week, and he's back for more. His last major, though, came 10 years ago at the U.S. Open. His tour roommate, Jason Belmonte, looking for history, trying to become the only player to ever win this event 3 times. And let's not forget our top seed, EJ Tackett, who's already Hall of Fame eligible at age 27. He knows how to win the majors. You know what else he knows, Dave? He knows that in order to win on the PBA Tour this season, you got to average about 289.75.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Big numbers, championship matches. Speaking of big numbers, and by the way, Kris Prather kind of resembles Clark Kent, little Superman feel to him. A 280 championship match last week, TOC, as he mowed past Bill O'Neill in the championship.
Man of steel, man. He's looking to make history, trying to become the only player on the PBA Tour to ever climb the ladder in back-to-back majors. Man of Steel is back once again, and in that same position he found himself in last week.
Check some numbers on Super Kris Prather. 15 to 18, no titles, but lately, man, has he turned it on.
This guy's accountant's going crazy right now, right? He's like, hey, you only made $112, and now in about 15 months you made $300K. We got to hide some of this.
Kris Prather joined now by Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Kris, last week you climbed the step ladder to earn your first ever major, and you've set yourself up for a chance to do it again this week, but you've got some familiar heavy hitters that you have to go through in order to make that happen. So what's the plan for today?
The plan is same as what it was last week. Just stay within myself, be me, and only focus on what I can control. You know, step ladders were meant to be climbed, so why not me again?
All right, good luck to you this week.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a 38-foot. Is my mic open? 38-foot Wayne Webb, and the players said that it's extremely flat in the middle, but they're going to start out trying to play about 12 to 5, and then when the lane breaks down, when that blue oil starts to go away, they're going to immediately jump way in, possibly even start lofting and still throwing it to that same spot down lane.
Let's meet our bowlers.
He won last week's PBA Tournament of Champions to earn his first major title and 3rd career PBA Tour title, Kris Prather.
Prather looking to make history today. Last week he climbed the ladder to win his first major. Today he looks to do the same, a feat that's never been done in major championship history. That would be superhuman.
The Shark. Smells blood in the water, Randy.
You know, he's had a couple of nicknames. Clark Shark. We were calling him Clark Kent. We thought that was a perfect nickname for him. And then they came up with this Shark nickname because of his phone case.
His day underway in Columbus. A high shot, double wood, and a 10-pin.
When we interviewed him, he said he was completely exhausted after last week, and his tour reps just said, hey, listen, you got to mentally hang in there. And I think one of the things that really helped Kris throughout the week was he was never out of the top 10 5 out of the 6 rounds.
Bonus.
Covers nicely. A sweet spare early for Kris Prather.
Well, it's pretty impressive when you make the 3-9-10 throwing it straight, because the idea is to hook it into this spare so that you can cover that back pin and catches just enough of that 9-pin.
The 2014 PBA Rookie of the Year owns 4 career PBA Tour titles, Marshall Kent.
And Marshall looking for his first win since 2017. He told us, Dave, he's mentally put it all back together for 2020, and his physical game is better than ever. This one's for Dad.
As is the new look. Freshly shaven, and Kimberly will tell us that story in a moment. As in a couple of hours old. That fresh. Right lane for Marshall Kent. Good shot, 10-pin stands.
Marshall's thrown 16-pound equipment out here forever, and when we talked to him, he said, no, I switched to 15 pounds 3 months ago. And I asked him, I said, why did you switch? And he says, I was exhausted after tournaments throwing the 16-pounders. Now, if you know Marshall gets exhausted throwing 16 pounds, that means you and I ought to be throwing 10-pounders.
Kimberly has more on his new look.
Guys, you made mention of Marshall's change of appearance since yesterday, and I can report that he cut his hair off just 2 hours ago. And he did it in honor of his father, Jim, who was diagnosed with brain cancer back in July of 2019. Now, Marshall told no one he was going to go do this, but made a pact with himself that a few months back, that the next show he made, he cut off his hair so his father knew that no matter where in the world Marshall was, that his dad was always with him. And to make this moment even more special, guys, today is his father's birthday. Happy birthday, Jim.
Happy birthday, Jim. And the best to all of us on the Go Bowling PBA Tour for a quick recovery.
I know Jim, and I've been invited by Jim and Marshall on several occasions to go fishing in Alaska with them. They do it every year, and I just haven't had it in my schedule, but our thoughts and prayers are obviously with Jim and Marshall and their whole family.
Covers, has a mark, the 3-6-10 spare for Marshall Kent. We spoke with him in the paddock just before the broadcast today after he got here. He missed the initial practice session about 15 minutes because, as Kimberly reported, he was getting his hair cut like a couple hours ago. And he said, I'm not worried about that. Not concerned about the practice. This had to be done. I wanted to get it done professionally and have it look smooth, look good for his father watching at home in Washington.
High Road Pearl on the right lane, Idle on the left lane is Kris Prather's Arsenal.
The TOC champ. I'll turn back for Kris Prather, 5 seed today. Climbed the ladder a week ago to win the 55th Tournament of Champions.
He's got one of the best releases in the game. It's just super soft hand and touch at the bottom of the swing. Look at that. How that wrist uncups and then that rotation. And then the 6 slap and the 10 out is always a right-hander's best friend.
Soft touch, bottom of the swing. Big emphasis in our meeting with Kris today. Been a huge key to his recent surge. All 10 in the pit. Those pins have no chance.
You can see the lines he's playing right there. 17 out to about 7. The players are a little bit deeper than I thought they would start. And again, in talking with them about the oil pattern, they all said the same thing. It all depends on where everybody starts and how we break them down in practice. But I spoke with Chris Barnes a couple of days ago, and he told me on this pair, 7 and 8, the left lane hooks more.
Back to Marshall Kent. Right lane, big strike. And it was interesting in meeting with Marshall. The players get ready in their locker room. He seems so relaxed, Randy, at ease with the new look and his goal for the day.
Well, I think Marshall's in a different place now because of his father's situation. And, you know, he said he went home after the summer, went home to work on himself.
Left lane, cross it over. Oh, well. Sometimes you go Brooklyn, baby.
You know, I was watching a lot of the tournament on Flow Bowling, and I can't remember the last time I watched so many Brooklyns by all the players, especially in match play. And I asked Bill O'Neill about it. He said, you know, the middle part of the lane is so flat that when you did miss by a little, it missed by a lot down lane. So if you did miss target left, you didn't go through the nose, you went Brooklyn.
You get that wireless mic fixed ASAP. Prather trying to go up by 13, didn't like it at all. That's right. Tough 2-10 split. Yikes.
He got a little right at target, and it was a little bit faster. You can see 19.7 up at the top right. And this ball, as soon as it left his hand, he knew it wasn't going to grab the lane surface strong enough to get back.
Oh, shooter.
Liked it. That's why. Conversion of a tough 2-10 split for Kris Prather. Big time.
He's going to take a re-rack and buy a little time, but yeah. I'll tell you what, confidence is a beautiful thing, and he's full of it right now, and he should be.
He said to us in our conversation with him today that expectations really high coming off the PBA Tour playoff win in Maine last year, the $100,000. He wasn't himself the first couple weeks. Didn't feel comfortable with the expectations and the way he was bowling. Dual oil pattern format challenging. Well, he has turned things on at major time. Left lane. High shot. 6-pin count. 3, 6, 9, 10 stand.
Yes. All right, well, you can see it's left the target right there, the 9 board. And what makes this tricky, again, remember, he covered this without the 6-pin, but you want to get that ball into here and make it curve just enough to cover that back pin, the 9-pin. That's typically how you would shoot that. Prather throws the ball straight at this spare, or at least he did when he shot the 3, 9, 10. Yeah,
10-pin stands, open frame.
And that's, you know, that's the risk reward. You get too much of the 3-pin and you chop the 10 off. You don't get enough of it, you miss the 9-pin.
On the bench, Marshall Kent, 14-pin lead.
My only question mark is, he threw it straight at the 3, 9, 10. Why wouldn't you do the same thing to that?
Now Marshall Kent tries to take advantage. Looks for the turkey here and the 24-pin lead, but hang on. I'll reset himself.
Marshall told us he didn't have a very good look on the fresh patterns this week. He said, yeah, I really had nothing. I just kind of grinded it out until the oil pattern exploded, and then I jumped in about 20 boards to the left and got real steep through the front part of the lane. Really started to cut the first 15 feet.
Not the shot he wanted.
So
neither player, RP, finding that look in the 1-3 pocket right now.
Yeah, because they're tricky, especially early on. Watch this ball motion down lane. This actually rolls out. As it starts to hook, you see how it quits? And that's because of the excessive end-over-end roll.
2-4. Oh, chops. And the 4 stands. Marshall Kent returns the favor. Kris Prather and an open frame. New match again.
Yeah, hard to do from that angle, really. That ball had to be backing up into that 2-4. And now we're tied.
And I think this one over and take a re-rack. Lots of thinking here early in this match for the 4-seed Marshall Kent. 4 titles, none since 2017, and no majors. Best finish in a major, 2016 U.S. Open in Vegas. He was the runner-up. Knocked off. Prather head-to-head in match play. Left lane, off the re-rack. Better, but a 10-pin stands.
Really nice shot there for Marshall Kent, using 2 different bowling balls. That ball actually went through the pins a little bit better, as it had a little more continuation.
We're all even here, Randy. Cross lane, watch it. Yeah, enough for the 10. And has his mark with his brand new look. In tribute to Dad Jim, battling brain cancer back home in the great Northwest. Underway match 1. Prather, Kent. Great bowling to follow from Columbus. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you. Log on to gobowling.com. Timeout for the PBA Playoffs points list. And there's the top 30 players on the points list for the PBA Playoffs. Up to the minute, that man is the leader right there, Kris Prather.
Yeah.
After the huge TOC win at Riviera Lanes last week.
Leading by a lot.
Yeah.
And I still like Clark Kent better because I got more stuff to go. Man of Steel and all that. There's Marshall Kent.
Agreed.
He's making his way up, which is nice to see. I don't know, maybe, Wes Malott started off with a completely different nickname, and he fell in love with the Big Nasty, which,
is a classic.
I gave him, and that's what he goes by now. So maybe Kris will change his mind.
Top 24 after the USBC Masters advance to the PBA playoffs beginning April 6th. All about the playoffs and a $100,000 paycheck to the winner. This guy did it last year. All even here. 6th frame for Prather. Right lane. Yeah. Oh, 10 back.
Yeah, no commercial blues after that shot for Kris Prather.
Speaking of which.
Well, listen, first of all, myself personally and the PBA family, along with Storm, would like to send our prayers, wishes, and condolences to tour consultant Jim Callahan, whose father passed away suddenly yesterday morning.
All the best, Jim.
That was tough to get out. I've known Jim for a long time.
Headed home to Delaware to be with family tomorrow. Prather knocks it all down. And in the pit.
That's the way you rebound from an open frame. Now can Marshall match him? We're starting to get used to this kind of shenanigans from Kris Prather, getting up and just making 2 quality shots to retake the lead.
Max scores. It's tight and a balk.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah. No fan interference. He didn't hear anything. Just the demons in his head.
Originally from Yakima, Washington. Now the Vegas area. A new house in the Spring Valley section of Vegas. Regroups, got to really hurry. Against the pocket, could have been a lot worse. 1-2 stands.
Errant shot. You can see just how far right that was. 2.5 board. And nothing's coming back from there. Well, I think getting 8 from that location is not bad.
Grabs the right shoulder.
Well, he is a gym rat. He may have overworked it or hurt it.
Probably works out as much as anyone on tour. He is. In there every day getting after it. Left lane. Wow, way off the mark.
Again, you see just how far right that is at the break point, and it's just too far to the right, isn't it? There's not enough friction to get the ball back from there. 2 inches to the left, and it's a strike. Think about that, 2 inches.
Down 16. Got to cover 4, will not. Open frame, one of the 8 up, and things starting to implode a bit for Marshall Kent in this match. Tonight, the Super Middleweight Championship is on Fox. Undefeated Caleb Sweethands Plant defends his title against Co-King Vincent Feigenboots. All the hard-hitting action begins at 8 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
I'm sorry, how do you say his last name?
Feigenboots.
Bless you. That's a pretty cool last name, though. If I do say so myself, that's pretty cool. Feigenboots.
There's Prather trying to go up by 38, Randy. That's a high shot. Well, almost to the big 4. And the 4-6-7 up, a difficult split for Kris Prather.
And all of a sudden, that missed spare in the 8th is starting to loom large for Marshall Kent. Right through the nose, kicks the 10 up, but it's basically like shooting the big 4. And the only player to ever make that on television, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Recall it. Go across Georgia. 6 stands, open frame, and the match shifts again. Just when it looks like Kris Prather's in control, now it's a 13-pin difference. Heading into the foundation frame. Interesting.
Yeah, if Marshall would have converted the spare in the 8th frame, it would be a 1-pin match. Crazy coming off of those 2 beautiful shots in the 6th and 7th for Prather, and then just gets it up the lane of hair and pays full price. Prather out of re-racks. Marshall still has 1. A re-rack, for those of you watching the PBA Tour for the first time, is where the players ask for a fresh set of pins to be set down.
Left lane. Everything but the 10.
Well, I'll tell you what, 9 spare in the 9th and 10th frame for Kris Prather might be enough. Marshall's only got 1 double this game and only has 2 strikes through 8 frames.
High probability Prather nails this single pin. Cross lane, 10-pin, which he does. A very basic shot for pros at this level. 13 pins, Randy, between the 2 here, 9th frame.
Max score for Marshall Kent, 195. Max for Prather, 198.
You saw Bill O'Neill back on TV again. Top seed last week, Riviera Lanes, but lost the Kris Prather championship match. about 10 back. Big shot, big strike, Marshall Kent. Now things get interesting in the latter stages of the match.
Beautiful shot there by Marshall, and he has to throw 2 more right behind it on this left lane. Eyes on target, and never leave the target until the ball is past the target.
Hey, I love the look. He looks awesome out there.
Dude, I don't want this to sound wrong, but I think like he could be a supermodel looking like that. The dude's like totally ripped. He doesn't have a 6-pack. He's got like a 10-pack. Dude, I think he could be just killing it right now with that model thing.
Oh yeah. Feeling it. On a roll, Marshall Kent. New look, new attitude. Dedicating this to Dad Jim.
A great shot here. Back-to-back beauties by Marshall Kent. You know, I go back and I think about his last win and how well he performed in the last couple of frames to win that. It was probably the best 4 shots I've ever seen him throw when he won his 4th title in Oklahoma 2017.
Help on the 10.
Oh, man.
Maybe the late scout. No tap on number 10.
Oh, man.
And it just wiggled and would not go down for Marshall Kent. That was close.
Good shot. That 5-pin reacted kind of suspicious. All right, 184. Prather needs 17 pins in 2 balls.
Here we go again. Last week.
So if he gets 7 on this shot, he'll need a spare, and then he'll have to strike on his fill. So this could get very interesting. If he gets less than 7 on the first ball, he could lose. We could have a tie.
It's a grind-out win against Sean Rash, opening match at TLC last week, 187-164. Then he just got on fire and crushed the rest of the competition. Prather trying to do it again.
Oh, man, was that good?
10-pin up.
Oh, I thought he labeled it when he let go of it. I thought it was just perfect. All right, spare here. He would need 8 or better.
Spare and 8 to win it.
Got to make this. I've seen it missed before in major championship history. In major championship competition. Mika Koivuniemi whipped one. Norm sitting on the bench. Remember that?
I remember. We called it. 8 pins to win. And Marshall Kent, freshly shaven head, dedicating to Dad Jim, suffering from brain cancer, battling back home in Washington State. Well, I just can't even look right now.
Tell you what, you go back to the 8th frame. If Marshall makes that spare, this match is over. Marshall would have moved on. Remember, he chopped that 2-4 in the 8th frame.
Eight to win for Prather. How about 10? How about a win? Kris Prather is going to climb the ladder. Ending the dream for Marshall Kent, looking for his first career major. The story of the Man of Steel continues on the Go Bowling PBA Tour. Prather, Randy, continues this role. Who's next? Bill O'Neill awaits in the wings.
18-time Columbus has hosted the PBA Tour 16 major.
The U.S. Open Players Championship from 2016 to 2020. Kris Prather has won with 5 strikes over Marshall Kent, 187-184 in our first match of the day. All right, Randy, time for our Flow Bowling Tournament highlights. The wily old veteran Norm Duke trying to become only the second bowler in history to win the Super Slam. In the top 5 all week, struggled on a couple of games. He finished 8th.
Norm hung in there all week and gave it a great shot. He may not have made the top 5, but he sure was the fan favorite all week.
Meanwhile, EJ Tackett, Jason Belmonte battling it out for the top spot, #1 seed here, and things got very interesting at the end, didn't they?
Boy, that's an understatement. EJ whiffs the 10-pin in the 9th and gives Belmonte a shot at the lead. Belmo steps up in the 10th and needs 2 strikes. Watch this.
Wow, in the channel, in the gutter, Belmo? Hard to believe. So EJ Tackett is the top seed here today in Columbus, but afterwards, with the fans and via Twitter, Belmo had some fun, right?
Boy, he sure did. Look at this tweet. Hey, who made the lane skinnier? Great sense of humor. He's so great with the fans. Jason Belmonte never says no to an autograph. Nick Pate just missing out. There's Norm Duke in 8th. Tom Doherty, another nice week. And our reigning U.S. Open champ, Frankie Lavoie, Stewie, Darren Tang, Thomas Larson, Zach Wilkins, Smalls in 15th. Larson, B.J. Moore, Maldonado, I call him Candy Maldonado, great baseball player back in the day.
Good reference, I like that.
A.J. Johnson, Ildemaro Ruiz. Ronnie Russell rounding out your top 24.
All trying for a major championship in Columbus today. Our second match is on the way. Can Prather keep this roll going? 5 in a row. Wins in the major after the TOC last week. Bill O'Neill, his opponent, next. The on-lane graphics you see in tonight's show, including the on-lane ball tracer, are brought to you courtesy of Clutch Bowling.
Great stuff. Very fortunate to have them.
Looks so good.
Yep.
So good. Prather 187-184 win over Marshall Kent in our first match. Bill O'Neill is next for Kris Prather, who bids for a second straight major.
An 11-time PBA Tour champion, former Rookie of the Year and U.S. Open champion, the real deal, Bill O'Neill.
He was the top seed last week. He's back for more this week. It's been 10 years since winning his first major. Today, can the future Hall of Famer be the real deal?
Bill O'Neill. I think he can. I think he can. He told us last night, very confident after last week's run to the top seed. And here we go again. It's a rematch of last week's championship match. About 130 miles away, a couple hours. The Akron area, Riviera Lanes, Fairlawn, Ohio. Let's do this again. Prather, O'Neill. Match 2 underway. Left lane, Kris Prather. That's a high shot, and that's a split 310.
Wow. Last game, Kris Prather had 3 splits, converted 2 of them. Missed one in the 8th. This time it's the 310. If you're going to leave a split, that's the one to leave. Marshall Kent did not leave a split. Lost by 3 by virtue of those 2 missed spares.
Covers. There you go, Kris Prather.
Can't be a great top professional if you're not a great spare shooter. Kris Prather is a great spare shooter. Made the 210, the 3-9-10, and the 310 in a game in a frame.
3 straight TV appearances, majors dating back to last year's U.S. Open November in North Carolina for Bill O'Neill, won by Francois Lavoie over Sean Rash in the final. Outside Charlotte, and some help. And a good shot in the right lane for O'Neill as the 5 drops late. Kimberly, joined by Marshall Kent.
Thanks, guys. So, Marshall, visually, I can see that this was a tough loss for you today. But when we talked yesterday, you told me that mentally and physically, you just recommitted yourself to come back out here and make some shows. Why was that so important to you?
Just to be able to build confidence in myself that I can come out and compete again. You know, for a while, mentally, I was kind of struggling with personally, and you know, it feels good to be back on TV. And, yeah, you know, down the stretch, I made some good shots to try to make Kris do some work, and I'm going to take that home with me.
And what do you want to say to your dad? I know you wished him a happy birthday on social media today.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dad. I love you. Keep fighting.
Guys.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
I went to Okinawa, Japan 2 years ago with Marshall, did some work for the military. To say that the people that are close to him aren't heartbroken is an understatement.
Prather, wow, high flush, 10 back into the pit for Kris Prather.
All right, last week versus this week, you could see that last week, a longer pattern. Kris Prather throwing it much slower, 20 miles an hour here. The ball lines, the tracks, a lot different last week. He was much deeper. But I think that was towards the latter part of the show as he climbed the ladder. He didn't start that steep. Oh, pays for it again. I'll tell you what, every time he's gone through the nose, he's paid for it. Game one, he went through the nose, first frame split. 3-6, 9-10 in the fifth. Big split in the eighth. And here we are in frame number 3. He's got 2 splits already.
Like I said, you've got to be a great spare shooter. This is a challenge. Close lane, he got it! He did it! What a shot, Kris Prather! Off the back wall. And see you later, number 10.
Man, when you got it going, you got it going. And he's got it going right now. Check this out. Doesn't cut it enough, but it ricochets off the side panel and catches the back part of the 10 pin. And there was a little slap off.
What a shot. Superman-like. How does the real deal respond? Right lane, 10 pin, little nudge. Not enough.
Look how much straighter Bill is going, his trajectory through the front. Down lane, same kind of break point that everybody else is playing. Talked to Sean Ryan, one of the tour consultants out here. He said, yeah, they're all going to be using the same spot down lane. It's just a matter of what target they use at the arrows.
Interesting to track that for sure. Last year, inaugural PBA playoffs, Portland, Maine. We talked about early in the broadcast, RP. Kris Prather, Bill O'Neill, man of the championship match. The race to 2, Prather proved to be too much. For the real deal, winning both games, the second one handily, and Shark Kent took home some big money, didn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Bill O'Neill bowled pretty doggone well that day, and there's just too much of this guy. I mean, when you throw it and you turn around, you know it's dead flush, and you know you're $100,000 richer. There wasn't a whole lot Bill O'Neill could do with that.
Left-hand O'Neill crossing over, and the 9-10 stand for Bill O'Neill.
Just a little left to target, and that ball goes right through the face. Just inside of 10. Remember, the left lane hooks more.
Left lane has been problematic. Very challenging for each. 9-10, no easy matter, nice. Perfect spot, splits the 2, takes care of the mark.
Come on. All right.
It's perfect. You got to clip both pins with the bowling ball. Bill O'Neill does just that.
Bill said it was last night. Look, I'm pretty tired. I mean, led last week right to the Players Championship. No rest for the weary. It's the U.S. Open on Fox next week. That's in Lincoln, Nebraska. You see those numbers for Prather. Head-to-head with O'Neill. Outstanding. Fourth frame. Number 10 kicks out late. Down it goes.
O'Neal started the match on the right lane, which means he finishes on the left, and that's the hooking of the two lanes, and obviously he likes that lane better. Wonder how that would play out. Right now, the right lane looks like it might be a little easier to get to.
Prather, you bet.
Anytime you see a player stand up that quick, it's one of two reasons. Either A, it's really bad, or B, it's really good. That one was really good.
That's the ladder. He's got the lead by 3.
Watch this. Oh, yeah. Likes it. They stand up like that, give it that little run out to the right.
Double for Prather. Told us last night. He's worked so hard on managing his in-match emotions, especially on TV. Control what he can control. Big theme. O'Neal, right lane. Yes. Responds perfectly with a strike. And he can regain the lead with a strike here. Chance to go up by 7 pins. Double in the 6th.
Redemption solid for Bill O'Neal. You can see the hook rating of 10 right there. He's going with the big bowling ball, the big engine.
Bill told us he loves getting back to single oil pattern, not the duel we saw to begin the tour. That's a high shot. That's that left lane. Trouble again, and the 3-6-10 stand.
Wow.
Another high hit. Bill made the adjustment after the 9-10. He goes high again, and now he's doing the head scratching. Remember, that's the lane he chose to finish this match on. A higher seed gets choice of starting lane and position.
Bill calls himself old school. He loves this traditional format. Trying for another major. First in 10 years. That's all. 3 down. 3-6-10 has his spare.
Bill O'Neal and Kris Prather are in quite the battle. Guess what? I got a little nugget for you, and I'll give it to you when we come back to break. Something Belmonte and Bill O'Neal have in common.
Can't wait to hear it, RP. We are at Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl, and there's the man, PBA Hall of Famer, our proprietor. Let's flash back. 1980 Tournament Champions, Randy, not far away. Last week's host, the Augusta National of Bowling Centers, Riviera Lanes, hosted the TOC 6 days ago. Our proprietor, Wayne Webb, opened the championship match 6 strikes against the top seed, Gary Dickinson. 22-year-old Wayne Webb went on to win the title. 219, 214, 6th career title. First and only major. He went on to win Player of the Year in 1980 and sees 20 titles in his career. With Elaine, his wife, co-proprietor at Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl, and PBA Tour Commissioner Tom Clark.
I'd say
in the house as well.
We all know who runs the business here. It's Elaine, but Wayne Webb was one of the best players in the history of this sport. One of the toughest. He was tough as nails. His nickname was Green Machine. I remember he used to throw this ebonite gyro back in the day. He was pretty awesome and fun to watch.
We talked to him just before the show, and he said, yeah, those are some good memories.
Yeah.
I had it going back then.
Yeah, he sure did.
Top of the world. Prather. He's on top of the bowling world right now after the first career
I'm
major.
just...
At Riviera last week. And Kris said, hang on, let's get to the correct lane. That would help up 3 pins here, 6th frame, and a chance to go up by 13.
TV, guys.
That's a little different level of focus right there. When both lanes look the same left and right.
All right, he's back.
1.4 million people saw that.
That's good stuff.
Ratings on Fox last week. Great viewership to watch the TOC.
I mean, why shouldn't it be? I mean, it's the greatest. It's the greatest show going. Left out.
He didn't like it at all. That's why. Well, I mean, just the head pin.
I really hope 1.4 million people
Now
saw that.
the trick is not to miss the head pin twice in one frame.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, think about what we've had to start this season. 300 title match to start with Tommy Jones. The next week, Sean Rash runs the table, 289 in the finale. The week after that, Kyle Troop, the #1 seed, 290. And then last week, what this guy did.
Look at that.
There's the head pin. Good job, Kris.
So, you know what Bill O'Neill and Jason Belmonte have in common?
Let's get back to that nugget.
They've never beaten this guy on television.
#1 all-time TV win percentage.
Now he is.
77.2 entering play today, and that increases with a win over Marshall-Kent. 13 career appearances. That's for players with at least 10 career TV shows. 4 wins last week. Left lane, Prather trying to keep it going. 4-pin.
A week too late.
I'll tell you what, he's referring to last week when he tripped those 4 pins, but that was a huge break in the 6th frame when he missed the head pin, left the 1, 2, 4, and then tripped the 2 and the 4 out, because now it's a 9 count and keeps him ahead of Bill O'Neill in count. Bill O'Neill right now at 107, 98% tour average on the 4-pin. I would have thought it'd be a little higher than that. 4-pin, pretty easy.
Just want to make sure we had a shout out to wife Ashley. She's home in Chicagoland because one of their Aussie Shepherds, Blue, had a vet appointment today. She's not feeling so great, so wishing their dog Blue and their other dog Barry, Blue Barry, the very best.
See the connection. We had a dog that his name was Here Stay, and when we'd call him, he got real confused. Here Stay.
Bill O'Neill. Don't forget, join us for the next PBA telecast Sunday, February 23rd, 1 Eastern on Fox. U.S. Open live from Sun Valley Lanes, Lincoln, Nebraska. The 2020 season of the PBA Tour continues next Saturday with the U.S. Open. 3 straight majors. Randy, it is a February frenzy. You know about March Madness and basketball.
Yeah.
This is a great time of the year for the Go Bowling PBA Tour. 3 majors in a row.
Dave, it's big February.
Big February. Major February.
Bill O'Neill's accuracy off the charts right now is at least within an inch at the arrows of every shot he's thrown.
Down one, trying to go up, does take a lead on the left lane.
Yeah, and finally gets to the pocket on that lane. Remember the last 2 shots in a row, he went high. Yep, all right. Enough moves now. Bill's locked in on the left lane, and now it's just a matter of execution. And not to mention the fact that he just doubled to regain the lead.
5th strike of the match. Crunch time. Right, Prather, down 9, works on a spare. That's what he needed.
Beautiful shot, the way he rolls his hand up the back of that bowling ball. I look for him to make an adjustment as we take another close-up look at his release and ball rotation. He's going to make another move on that left lane after going 4-pin, and I suspect he'll probably make a 2-board move to the left with his feet and maybe 1 with his target. It might even be 3-1.
Belmo's next, Randy, in match 3. Trying for a record 12th major.
Oh, he really moved in. Got it in.
And leaves a 6-10 crossing over.
There's impossible. Lane's impossible. Fucking terrible.
Yeah, he's made a big move now, and you heard him say it, that left lane is impossible, which again brings me to why did Bill O'Neill choose to finish on it? But Bill O'Neill's playing it a little differently with a little bit different equipment. Kris is using really clean, reactive. Chopped it. He's using really clean, reactive equipment. Bill O'Neill is using really strong, aggressive equipment.
Crushing chop, and the 10-pin stands for a late open that gives Bill O'Neill a 21-pin lead, working on a strike to the foundation frame, and he can take this match home. A chance to go up 31.
Strikes here, it's over.
Doors open. O'Neal. A high shot.
Whoa.
10 stands.
That's a good break there because he could have gotten 5 on that hit. Trips the split out, only leaves the 6 pin. Now conversion here in any mark in the 10th frame, and he'll move on to bowl his tour roommate, Jason Belmonte.
Yeah. Got that. Gets closer.
Any mark in the 10th here, and he moves on.
Bill's wife, Christy, son, Gavin, the family did not make the trip from Pennsylvania. We asked Bill about that. Christy was going to surprise Bill. But Gavin has a basketball game today. It's the last game of the season. Christy said, "You want to go surprise Daddy?" He said, "No."
People going to the vets, basketball games. I mean, they should. What about the bowling?
You want to play basketball.
Beautiful.
But they're watching right now, watching Dad take the win. Oh, he's that good. The real deal. Bill O'Neal will beat Kris Prather here. And with the family watching back home outside Philly, end the dream for Prather to win back-to-back majors.
Yeah, he's going to make a ball change here. He needs 1 pin. I think Bill can handle that.
Somehow, I think he'll do it. How about 9? How about a win for Bill O'Neal? Looking for his second major and first in 10 years. The Man of Steel eliminated at the Players Championship. Who's next? This guy. The legend, Jason Belmonte. The greatest day in all of racing returns. The Daytona 500 kicks off the 2020 NASCAR season tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, with the pre-race beginning at 1 only on Fox.
Yeah, it's not far from your house.
Hour and a half.
Listen, in motorsports, it's all about speed, right? Speed and power. Same on the PBA Tour. And leading the pack at 510 RPMs is the man from down under, Jason Belmonte. But I'll tell you what, pound for pound, this guy right here, with his thumb in it, strongest ball on tour.
Love that.
Now keep in mind that rev rate is, equivalent to like the average league bowler at about 220.
So big numbers in comparison. And the ball speed so impressive too.
Yeah.
Stepladder leading us to our next match. Belmo O'Neal.
The reigning PBA Player of the Year, all-time major champion with 22 lifetime PBA Tour wins. The Thunder from down under, Jason Belmonte.
The reigning Player of the Year and Titan of the sport is making his 3rd straight major telecast. But he's struggled on TV as of late. He told us the struggles have made him more determined than ever. Today, will he bring the Thunder from down under?
He's won this event twice. That was his first major, 2011 Players Championship. Also in 2017, trying for a 3rd, never been done before. 2011 in Vegas, 2017 Columbus. Here we go. What a match. O'Neal, Belmo. Whoa. Nice shot. Oh, avoids. Would have been a very difficult split and just the 6-10 stand.
Whoa. Well, Belmonte's going to finish on that left lane, and so apparently the players like the left lane better than the right. I don't know if it's because of the extra friction, because that lane is certainly drier than the right lane.
6'10". No problem. '67 TV appearances. 51st career major. He's made 26 of those shows and won 11 times. Belmo, right lane, ringing 10 pin.
Oh, that was a ringing 10 with a flying messenger coming after it. Watch the head pin off the side board, the side wall, and goes behind the 10. I used to have pin action like that, said me, never.
Watch it, 10 pin, got just enough. And the 2 seed takes care of that. Surpassed Earl Anthony's 10 majors, Pete Weber's 10. Mike Albee and Walter Williams Jr., who's here in the house tonight, had 8 each. What a career for Belmonte.
Well, the good news is that Jason doesn't have to bowl Kris Prather this game. Bad news is he's got to bowl his tour roommate and best friend out here.
Left lane, oh yeah! Oh yeah! 60 feet to success for Belmonte, smashing the rack.
Beautiful shot here on the left lane for Belmonte. I mean, it just gets down there and looks like somebody kicks it left. And that's what that speed and power will do for you. Power makes it change direction, and got to have the right speed.
Last shot, no split 6'10". We've seen that before.
Okay, trapped yourself.
Well, a lot like the Daytona 500, we've got a lot of left turns going on right now. That one turns too heavy and too hard right through the schnozola.
I like the racing analogy. I'm with you on that. It's good.
I just think the cars are cool.
They're amazing.
They just sound so cool. I mean, I'd never want to go that fast. Unless I was riding with a professional driver. That would be kind of cool. But I'd have to be like in a full winter survival suit, fully padded like interior, where if something happens, the only thing that would happen is I'd get a scratch on my hand or something. Then I would do it.
Harness strapped in, fully protected is what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
professional driver.
Just like a reinforced cage, reinforced 42 times.
We'll see what we can do. O'Neal left lane. Yes. 10 back.
Big move left. And I think, did he change balls on that shot? The same ball he's been using. Nope. Check out what he does with his hand at release. Now, if you advance that a little bit farther, you can see that his hand actually turns out to the right. And what that does is it keeps his elbow in. Almost impossible for Bill O'Neal to elbow a shot.
One major 10 years ago, U.S. Open, Indianapolis. This guy's got 11 of them. That comes in a touch high, 3-6-10. The numbers off the charts. Belmo, right lane, 3-6-10, chops the 3, open frame. Ouch.
All right.
Kimberly Pressler has much more about Jason Belmonte.
Guys, so we've mentioned in the past that Jason has started a fund for wildlife relief in his home country of Australia, and the bowling community has stepped up to support him in his efforts. On this show specifically, both EJ Tackett and Marshall Kent have pledged to contribute for every show they make. EJ will match Jason's pledge of $50 per strike on a show, $100 a strike in the title match, and Marshall's pledge of a flat rate of $500 for every TV final he makes throughout the season.
Wide right, and I mean by a lot.
1, 2, 4, 8, washout. Wow. Challenging shot. It's a great cause that Jason Belmonte's in, trying to help his country recover from the wildfires there, or bushfires as he calls them. Luckily, there's a lot more rain in Australia over the last couple of weeks. Flooding has actually been an issue, he told us last night, but it's a long road to recovery down under. Lot to cover here, does it? Good mark for Belmo, avoiding a disastrous open.
Yeah, no washout because there was no 10-pin, right? So it's just a 6 spare, and off of his open in the third, he's lucky to get away with one there in the 4th frame.
Bowl anywhere, anytime with the new PBA Bowling Challenge mobile game for iPhone, iPad, and Android. Head to PBA.com to check out the game that more than 27 million people have downloaded so far. Continuously updated with new ball options, venues, competitions, challenges, in-game rewards. Download the app today, and for more information, visit PBA.com. O'Neal, right lane.
Oh, that was really good.
You can tell just by that reaction and the scoring pace today just how tricky this oil pattern is. I remember bowling and on patterns like this where you knew that they were going to be tough and you just kept grinding.
Oh, God.
You kept grinding and just try to make it as simple as possible and keep everything kind of in front of you. Obviously the players have to play a lot of angle through the front part of the lane just because their balls are curving that much. And then the last thing is you gotta make spares.
10-pin match in match number 3 between these two titans of the sport.
Won the doubles right here, Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl.
A lot of success in this venue. There's a strike left lane. Making his adjustments. Making it count.
Beautiful shot here by O'Neal. I'm wondering if the lanes are transitioning that much, if they're just changing that much, where the players have to move like every other frame.
Much better shot.
Wow, it sure was, Belmo. He crunches all 10 back into the pit. Those pins had no chance whatsoever.
Well, right now, the difference in the match is just Belmonte's execution thus far. Wild Streak is his ball of choice for today's telecast.
Here's a left lane for Belmo. All 10 back again.
Those two are pretty good.
Back to back jacks. And we've got ourselves a great second half of this match coming up, RP.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if you like power, if you like strikes, if you like to watch the #1 player in the world, swipe left and come back and join us.
There's no question these PBA pros really get around on the road, most of the time on tour, sometimes overseas. When it's time to relax, travel is the subject. And tonight's Go Bowling presents Pressing Questions with Kimberly Pressler.
So where is your most favorite place ever to travel to?
Hawaii.
Scuba diving, snorkeling?
Nope, don't go in the water. Afraid of sharks. Afraid of stepping on jellyfish and things with spiny tentacles that put poison in your, orifices.
Cyprus. Over in kind of by Greece, I don't know, it's a lot of water, it's beautiful.
My favorite place I've ever been was Sicily.
I love Spain.
Johannesburg, South Africa was awesome.
Japan.
Japan.
Best food, best people, and it's clean, and there's nothing to not love about it.
So who is the worst person to travel with?
Don Barrett. All he wanted to do is listen to Rihanna at 6:30 in the morning.
Well, actually, him being the country guy, I just like winding him up. He hates Rihanna and any music like that.
Traveling with Barnes, because he's the cheapest person that we know.
I'm cheap, yeah. Yeah. My friends call me frugal. Well, actually, no, most of the time they call me cheap too.
So who is the worst person to travel with on tour?
EJ Johnson, I heard, takes forever to get ready. People know. I think if you've been with EJ, you know that he takes forever to get ready.
They complain about me, but I just tell them, somebody has to look good out here. Nobody cares, so someone has to.
Why not make it you?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So AJ a couple weeks ago, Jonesboro, Arkansas, trying for a title. A lot of product there. Looks good. I mean, he's jacked up, former high school quarterback, great athlete. Takes time to look good.
Well, no, he's excessive. I heard he takes a lot of time, like a lot of time. He likes looking at himself in the mirror. He's pretty.
Sixth place finish, 2011, 2018. Best prior for the real deal. Here we go. All even. Match number 3. O'Neal Belmo rolls on right lane. All 10 in the pit. Great strike for O'Neal.
10 back and now a 10-pin lead for the real deal. Now, folks at home, that's the style that you want to be trying to emulate. And the reason why I say that is because it's the easier of the styles that we're seeing today. It's more traditional. You try to keep the shoulders back, nice straight swing, good knee bend, little less right shoulder tilted release, just kind of rolls the ball, medium rev rate. It's a lot easier to throw it like this than to throw it like Belmonte. Not saying that you're going to throw it as good as Bill O'Neal.
Oh, come on.
Didn't like it. Trying to go by 20. You know what? Sometimes you just get it. Sometimes it just happens.
And we've seen this a lot throughout the week. This soil pattern lends itself to a slight miss and the ball crosses over.
Come on, stop, man. Just stop.
Next stop, Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's flush Brooklyn there. It's good.
Can Belmo respond? Got it to 10. You bet. Oh, no. It's a 7-pin. Somehow the pin action doesn't take the 7 out. Belmo gets 9.
And as a player, that's real frustrating because your opponent just went Brooklyn for a 3-bagger, and you kind of ace this shot, and you leave this massive messenger that goes right by the 7-pin. That ball pushed down the lane just a pinch too far and came in a little late.
7-pin, but he needed a strike there because O'Neal's on fire right now. Well, I think they'll open up last week. Randy, tomorrow, FS1, 6 Eastern, St. Louis, Houston. Very successful week 1 on Fox.
I'll take a re-rack.
As the XFL is underway.
Yeah, that's fun to watch, man.
Great
I watched
football.
last week. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I watched last week. Belmonte taking a re-rack, and I'm going to just say right now that if he doesn't, in my opinion, if he doesn't strike here in the 8th frame, I don't think he wins this game.
Five-time player of the year. Trying to get back on track. Last 3 TV shows. Not great for Belmo. He's averaged 178. All losses. Going back to the U.S. Open last year. Belmo left lane. Yep. That's a lot better.
Well, what describes major championship competition out here is a number of things. The format, the competition, the prize money, the amount of games. We talked to Bill O'Neal and Prather, and they said back-to-back weeks, they bowled about 150 to 200 games for the 2 weeks. Try doing that.
O'Neal looking to respond. And yes! Up by 31 pins.
Come on, I won't like that again. I won't like that.
That's taking advantage of that, Brooklyn. It could have been a double spare and strike. Instead, it's 4 in a row.
For Bagger. Now the foundation frame to expand the lead by 10 more. Go up by 41. There are the max scores.
Back in Arlington in 2019 to start the year, he put the whooping on Belmonte, beating him 260, 268, 188.
Another strike.
Back at it again.
5 Bagger. 41 pin lead for Bill O'Neal.
O'Neal could strike out for 258. Belmonte max score is 227. O'Neal's already in the 230s. Belmonte's in the 190s.
Oh no.
2-4-8-10s.
The ball on the right lane is the same ball he's using on the left lane, and it's not strong enough because the right lane is slicker. That looked like a pretty good shot, and it just went another 2-3 feet down the lane because of that lane being a little slicker down lane.
Belmonte told us, Randy, last night that he's been too technical at times, thinking too much, and trying to let it flow today on TV. Unfortunately, very tough score to pick up. Leaves the 10 pin, 2-4-8-10. It's an open frame. And Bill O'Neal has won this one. It is mathematically over. And Bill O'Neal will knock off Belmo. Belmonte will not have his 12th major today. EJ Tackett wants another major. He's the top seed. O'Neal, Tackett on the way from Columbus. It'll be a great match. Let's flash back to 1995. Oh, Randy, I'm so sorry. I apologize in advance. RP needed a strike to knock off Ernie Slagle to win the Touring Players Championship. Throws a seemingly perfect shot. Stone, 8-pin. The unforgettable. The extraordinary action for Ernie Slagle. And a very tough loss for Randy Peterson.
I don't believe that I didn't get up and knock him in the face. Yeah, that was fun to see again. Thanks.
Sorry about that. But it is an extraordinary memory and really one of the top memories in the PBA Tour.
It was top 10. I think it tied for 10th. Let me just say that I did my job. I got up and I aced it, and I left a solid 8. And really the only thing that I can take away from that and then Ernie's reaction is he doesn't get Christmas cards.
That's part of your Twitter handle as well. It's easy to remember. All right, Randy, you're a good sport. Thanks, man. Stepladder bracket updating now. Kris Prather knocked off Marshall Kent. And then O'Neal. And again, the real deal over Prather and O'Neal. Setting up our championship match, EJ Tackett and Bill O'Neal. Our In the Pocket feature gives us a chance to get a closer look at the PBA pros this week. Our number 1 seed, EJ Tackett, is in the pocket. EJ Tackett wins the 2019 PBA Tour Finals.
That win, it ended up being really special. We had lost my grandfather a week before. On the lanes, I was really, really focused, and I don't know if I'd ever been that focused at an event in my life. It just made it that much better. I want to be one of the greatest that has ever played the game. And in 20 years, people will say, yep, EJ's one of the top 10 ever of all time in bowling. I believe in myself that I could actually get to that point.
Next up from Columbus, Bill O'Neal. Looks for his first major in 10 years against the former PBA Tour Player of the Year, EJ Tackett. It'll be great bowling. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling, For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. Nighttime in Columbus. And ready for our championship match. This will be fantastic bowling. O'Neill Tackett.
The 2016 PBA Player of the Year owns 13 career PBA Tour titles with 2 major victories. EJ Tackett.
Well, look who's back in his familiar role of TV bowling superstar. At age 27, he's already punched his ticket to the hall. Today, he needs to win 1 game for title number 14 and his 3rd major.
He's 2-2 as a top seed in majors. 2016 PBA World Championships, 2017 TOC. For EJ came as the number 1 seed. Top seed this year. Well, Kyle Troop won in Jonesboro. 1-3 so far. O'Neill gets us started. Title till from Columbus. All 10 back.
You might start seeing the players loft it just a little bit to keep the ball from going high into the head pin, making it scoot down the lane a little bit longer. We saw that in match play towards the latter parts of match play as they got deeper into the games, game 6, 7, 8. See if EJ Tackett's going to go to the air as well.
If we have a perfect game in this title match, a $1 million bonus for the PBA Tour from Fox. There's another. EJ Tackett.
Well, EJ's soft enough with his speed. Look how deep he is, 25 out to 5. And talking with the tour reps for Motive and for Brunswick and for Storm, they all said the same thing. The break point's going to be the same for everyone. Just depends on how much they're going to cut the front part of the lane.
EJ, yes!
Hey, did you see that? There was still a pin standing in the gutter. That's kind of cool. Good start for EJ.
We're perfect.
That's covering a lot of territory there.
We asked Bill O'Neill about that $1 million bonus, the perfect game, the 300 in the championship match. And he said, look, getting to the title match in a major is really hard. No, I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about winning.
He was in the same spot last week.
Yes, he was. Championship match and another strike. So we're perfect through 4.
A little bit farther right of EJ with the lower rev rate. You would expect that. EJ low to mid 500s and Bill is low to mid 400s.
Beat Belmo 236 to 185 to make the championship match. Runner-up last week at the TOC.
Something didn't feel right when he put his hand in it, because you never see Bill come off the lanes or balk.
Looking for the first 3. Yes, indeed. I mean, you're only human. When would you start thinking about it?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay.
You'd think about it if you got to the 10th frame and you had 9 in a row. Then you'd start to think about it.
Tackett looks for another. Oh yeah. Here we go. That'd be 6 straight in our championship match, and things are heating up in Columbus.
Well, he's absolutely just getting all over it at the bottom of the swing. And watch this elbow and wrist snap and then that open hand.
Best finish of the year. Last week, TOC 7th in Fairlawn, Ohio. And here he is.
Going with the Supra.
Top seed trying for another strike. Oh, goodness gracious. We're all perfect here. EJ, the first 4 in his match. Should he or any other player on our show tonight roll a perfect game, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling, courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register for your free game, simply head to GoBowling.com. Sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion. $1 million is on the line if one of these guys rolls a perfect 300 game in our championship match. O'Neill's dream for the million comes to an end, but he's still hoping for a title.
Do you think in any way you jinx that by saying it? Just asking.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe in the broadcaster jinx at all.
No? All right.
Ball.
Got it wide and a little fast and hated it immediately. Again, you made the point that once in 4 weeks to start the season, the top seed has won. That was Kyle Troop, who, by the way, did not bowl this tournament. Kyle shot 290 in his title match. He picked it out nicely afterwards. It's pretty cool. Fun to watch.
Oh, no.
Didn't like it, and that's why the 8-pin stands. And we go from the perfect game to an open frame. And suddenly, EJ Tackett on the bench has a 25-pin lead.
Easy to do on this pattern because the middles are still so flat. That's why the players are throwing it sideways through the front part of the lane. So then as soon as they get it up the lane just a little bit, it overhooks like it did there.
Game changer. So now the 5th. Can he bounce back?
Skated on him again.
Sure did. 8-pin up. Watch the
Starting to
end
bog
of
down.
the run of Kris Prather's magical day last week at the TOC.
Good look at his release and ball rotation. You know, it's a crazy thing when you watch Bill start off with the front 3 and then, you know, that little errant shot on the right, got it a little right and a little fast, and then comes back with that shot on the left lane, and all of a sudden it looks like he starts with the front 3, it looks like he's okay, he knows what he's doing, and then all of a sudden can't hit the pocket. Let's see if the same type of phenomenon happens to EJ Tackett.
4 in a row. Looks for the front 5. Knocked off O'Neill in match play this week by a lot. Chance to go up by 35 pins. How about EJ front 5?
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, my.
Oh, the scout across the deck took out the 10. And the dream is still alive for $1 million bonus for EJ Tackett with a front 5.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is dirtier than a truck stop restroom, man. Watch this. Finn just come over and cave the 10 in. That is ridiculous.
Looks for another left lane. Not this time.
Yep, got it up the lane and paid for it. 2-4-6-10 standing. And just like that, things can change pretty quick. So what EJ is going to do is he's going to try to get that bowling ball over the right side.
3-4-6-10, right?
I'm sorry, 3-4-6-10, yeah. No, 3-4. Wait, what the heck? 3-4-6-7.
7. Right. So we got it. There's some loft there, and 4-pin stands. What an effort.
Well, any way you shape it, he's trying to get the ball over to the right side of the 3-pin to cut it into the 4 and the 7.
Almost did it.
And his lead went from a lot to just 25. Or excuse me, 19.
19 now. So here's O'Neal on the response. 6 frame strikes. Always right back in it, Randy.
Well, it's another strike here, and he cuts it to 9. But EJ was in the 230s. O'Neal was 205. He had a 35-pin lead before that open frame in the 6th.
Two titles last year. Chesapeake Open, Hall of Fame Classic. Bill O'Neal wants a major here today in Columbus. That's the way you do it. Come on. Down to 9.
What a comeback. It looks like he's kind of trying to spin it off his hand right now.
Still here.
Beautiful shot there. Nice comeback. Nice recovery from the open frame in the 4th.
EJ. That's how you bounce back. The $1 million dream vanishes. The open frame of the 6th, then the strike.
Well, he might have to change his inserts in the finger holes after that shot because he didn't leave anything in the bag, was not cheated. He got all over that one at release. There's his inserts. You can see that red pin there, that's the riser pin, and that tells you where the top of the weight block is. You see him digging in. He's got the finger tape going. Pound for pound. Strongest ball on tour.
Strong shot, 2 for that guy, Randy. EJ Tackett. A huge strike. 19-pin lead.
Yep, beautiful. He struck every time he's hit the pocket, which is good. Pretty high carry percentage.
He's a great golfer, as we know, and he said, look, to us last night, Tiger Woods doesn't go to a tournament to finish 2nd. I've got to have the Tiger mentality and close this thing out as the top seed. Inching closer. He'll try to cut it back to 9. Ring 8.
Yeah, I needed that one. He really needed that. He aced it off his hand. He loved it. And just a ring and 10 on that right lane.
Has the spare. It might be too late. Here's the foundation frame. 20-pin differential between EJ Tackett. Trying for his 3rd major, 14th title.
You know, back when I was a full-time touring player, I don't remember a lot of 27-year-olds at that time that were already eligible for the Hall of Fame.
It's extraordinary.
And that's kind of this new guns, these young guns, these new guys.
Just be still, just for 10 seconds. Just a little bit.
EJ Tackett's and Marshall Kemp, and now Prather joining that group.
Little movement to his left from the fans.
Simonson, 23 years old. He's already Hall of Fame eligible. It's just crazy.
O'Neal left lane, needs it, gets it to stay in this match. Gives a high 10 to the young fan who's moving a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know what? Billy's a classy guy, and he handled that perfectly. Yeah, a little high five to the little one. Said he asked to be still over there. And that's the way you're supposed to handle it, like a professional.
DePaul, number 23, Creighton, is coming up. Big East basketball, great matchup. You're on FS1, that's next. Tackett across the deck. And the 10-pin would not budge.
Flying messenger. Oh, the head pin got interrupted on its way across. There's 2 pins sitting in front of the 10. Yeah, right? Everybody in the behind EJ are like, oh man. EJ looks 100% completely confident. And I think that EJ is getting ready to win his 14th title. He needs 2 strikes in the 10th frame and 2 pins. And he will shut out Bill O'Neill. If he does not get that, Bill O'Neill still has a shot at winning this.
EJ gave a big shout out to the late great Kobe Bryant as well. Talked to him last night. Mamba mentality. One of his all-time heroes. Wants to win. 7-pin. No, wiggle. Will not drop.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Those last 2 hits were just scary. 232 max score now for Tackett. O'Neill at 234 if he goes to the sheet. Or, excuse me, off the sheet. Tackett can now lose. His last 2 shots are as good as anything you'll see. He's going to take a re-rack.
Quite a year for EJ. The sprained ankle he told us about in September sent him back several weeks. And went to 16 pounds in November. DePaul Creighton, as we talked about, EJ's Coach McDermott, 23rd in the nation. Very competitive Big East. It's all the way on FS1. We wrap up here from Columbus on the PBA Tour.
Just making Bill O'Neill sit as long as he can. Rarely do you take a re-rack on a fill shot. Well, and everyone mattered there because O'Neill now needs 2 in the 10th and 9. So that fill shot, very important.
O'Neill, right lane. Strikes.
Nothing EJ can do about it. Boy, did this turn around quick. EJ got off to that rocket fast start with the front 5. O'Neill had
thought it was over.
Yeah, O'Neill had the open in the 4th. And then all of a sudden, just 2 wicked hits. 9th and 10th for Tackett. And here's O'Neill stepping on the doorstep of another victory. It would be his 12th and his 2nd major. Remember his first major? 2 years ago. Excuse me, 10 years ago. Gotta have it.
Needs it and gets it with a tap on the 10. Bill O'Neill inching closer to a major championship in Columbus.
If he gets 8, we have a tie.
He gets 9. We've got a win for Bill O'Neill. 9 to win, 8 to tie, 7 loses. For the real deal, it comes down to 1 shot. Needs 9 to be a winner. He's got it. 9 down. And Bill O'Neill wins the 2020 PBA Players Championship in Columbus. What a finish. O'Neill's 2nd career major. And first in 10 years.
Oh, I don't know what the hell that was.
The decade-long wait is over for the real deal.
I'll get you.
Wow.
Good job. Two great shots right there.
Great stuff by Belmonte. So underrated because he doesn't throw it sideways. He doesn't hook the entire lane. He's a shot maker. He's throwback. He's so talented. It's so good.
Avery, good for you guys. Dad, love you, Todd.
Shout out to the family.
We did it. Yo, Big Mike, how clutch was
His
that?
first major since the 2010 U.S. Open in Indianapolis. Our next telecast, Sunday 1 Eastern on Fox, the U.S. Open from Lincoln, Nebraska. Stay tuned to Paul number 23 Creighton coming up next on FS1. Now for Kimberly Pressler and Randy Peterson, our whole crew, it's Dave Ryan saying so long from Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl.
Thank you, Hammer.
Hoops next, Jeff Levering, Dickie Simpkins, Big East basketball. The man of the moment is Bill O'Neill.
Mike Wolf, I will add this to you. Thank you. Thank you. Can I put this down? I'm going to drop it.